So now coming from a business background, how difficult has it been for you to start something like this? Or something like this which is not just about making money, you know? I think coming from a business background, the support on I want to start something that 100% makes money would be much higher than I want to start something which is social enterprise. We will make money, but then I won't be bringing money home, you know? So how difficult has it been for you?
Fortunately, not very difficult. Fortunately, I can't complain as, many may have or would have faced the problems. Like, people are like, how hard was it to start your own business? Coming from a business family, when you say that you want to start your own business, it's the best news the family can get.
But then later you add social enterprise, would not be much difficult to convince.
Actually, my parents were pretty okay with, they were like, we already, luckily we had that thing of do whatever you want kind of environment. I was lucky enough to have that openness and, that flexibility of choosing what I want to do. Fortunately for them, I wanted to start my own business. I won't say unfortunately that, I'm doing a social enterprise. They didn't mind it at all, actually. And even if they did, I would be like, well, this is what I want to do.
That's your problem. Okay.
I mean, you can't stop me from doing that, but I didn't have that problem. But also for me and for most entrepreneurs or people who come from business families, at least in Nepal, because we're so used to seeing not just working in one space, they know that I don't want to stop here. Educase is not my one and done. I want to start another business. I constantly think about different ideas also. May not have worked on it right now and may work on it when the time comes or come up with another idea another day kind of thing. But again, this is not my one and done. Even I want to work on different ideas and they might be profit making, so they might wait for that. But no one was actually upset that I was working on a social enterprise. And that way it was not very challenging for me to start it. And again, coming from a business background, you do get a lot of support in terms of information also, because I can networks. I tried to create my own network because again, this is from a social background, right? It's a social enterprise, so a lot of the networks I've had to have are in the development sector, and I didn't have access to too many of those, so I created those on my own 100%. I reached out to people, I joined organizations, or I joined different groups, or Facebook, you search one and then from one you reach to another kind of thing. That in terms of I can imagine it being so difficult just to register a company in Nepal. I had so many challenges, even though I had someone helping me, telling me, oh, you can do this next, this is where you should go to register, this is where you should go to do this form, that form. So I still faced a lot of challenges even though I had help. So I can't even imagine people who come from a completely non-business background and are starting out from scratch, how they would start. So I definitely had a lot of benefits and privileges in that sense, and I know it, and I'm really grateful for it. But starting out otherwise can be very challenging over here.
So what was the most challenging part? Now you cannot say it was all rosy. And
No, of course not. Firstly, if you start something that is completely new and random, that is the biggest challenge of it all in general. Of just convincing people that, this is something that exists, or this is something that works, or me telling people that this exists kind of thing, By this, I mean that getting the word out there. For example, someone wants to order a backpack and someone wants to order a desk. They will go to a backpack manufacturer and they will go to a furniture shop, okay? But because they don't know what Educase is. But if they knew, then they didn't have to go to those two people. They would directly just come to me and get it made. So one is the biggest challenge is that. One I'd already mentioned is that information is not available. I actually haven't lived here, so for me that was the biggest challenge. Is that I also don't know people. I don't know where to get things done, or the little tricks, or getting things done in Nepal. For me, I didn't have that because I'd never lived here.
So you completed your bachelor in India. You completed your master in London.
Yes.
And then you are here after your
Yes.
Okay, please continue.
So then, after not having lived here, I didn't know how things work here. Also, for me, it was like starting from scratch in understanding the country itself. So not knowing that was my biggest challenge. Firstly, So, understanding how to work with people, or my language barrier was also there. Ki my Nepali isn't the greatest right now. I'm working on it, and it has gotten better over the years.
Okay.
It has definitely gotten better, and hopefully it will get better too. But, just working, for example, working with the government, there are ways of working with them that make it efficient or positive results.
True.
It doesn't happen that you call someone in the government and they accept you. Nothing works like that, right? So I didn't even know how to do that. So for me, understanding that was difficult. So, for example, to understand that, I made sure that when I moved back, at least I did a job or something somewhere that I'm not only in that bubble of family business, but I'm like interacting with people who are outside that and working in the development space.
So where did you work?
So I did the Daitwa Fellowship, the Public Policy Fellowship. So I was sitting and working at the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Supplies for 6 months because I knew that whatever point I'm working at Educase, I'll have to work with the government. Maybe not that department itself, but you understand how the government works there, or how you even speak to a government official is very different. I didn't know that. I thought you can speak to them formally, how you would speak to any corporate person or anyone in a formal setting. No, there are like different words you're supposed to use. Like how you address like a minister or a secretary or an undersecretary, there are different words for them, right? For every single person, there is a different word, or like, it has to be done in a certain way. And I didn't know that. So the first day I was there, I was speaking to everyone normally. And one of my friends who was placed in the same ministry, she was like, Vedika, I think you should speak differently. And I was like, got it. So just learning all that is also very important, and no one tells you that you have to do it.